Dear UTC community, on behalf of the Cary Society, I wish a very happy Republic Day to all of us. First of all, I express my sincere thanks to the God Almighty, to the principal who is the president of Cary Society, to Reverend Dr. Alexander Isaac, the faculty advisor of IPC, and the office bearers of Cary Society and IPC and the whole community for giving me this opportunity to stand before you in this evening with a few thoughts. Dear friends, prior to the 17th century, the term republic was used to designate any state with the exception of tyrannical regimes. Derived from the Latin expression res publica, which means the public thing. The category of republic could encompass not only democratic states but also oligarchies, aristocracies and monarchies. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the meaning of republic shifted. The growing resistance to absolutist regimes and their upheaval in a series of revolutions from the 80 Years' War, which started in 1568 and ended in 1648, to the American Revolution and the French Revolution. Shaped by those events, the term republic came to designate a form of government in which the leader is periodically appointed under a constitution, in contrast to hereditary monarchies. Despite its democratic implications, the term was claimed in the 20th century by states whose leadership enjoyed more power than most traditional monarchs, including military dictatorship such as the Republic of Chile under Augusto Pinochet and totalitarian regimes such as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. India is the largest democratic republic in the world. India became a democratic republic country by the adoption of the Constitution on 26 January 1950. A team of intellectuals put their hard labor behind the formation of Indian Constitution under the leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is known as the architect of the Indian Constitution, for a period of 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. Their strenuous work of studying the constitutions of various nations and the visionary formation of our own constitution holds our constitution today in esteem as the only constitution which survived for a long period of time with minimum amendments. As we celebrate the 76th Republic Day of our nation, it is good to comprehend the scenario of present India. India today is the 5th largest economy in the world. India succeeded in space missions like Chandrayaan 3 and joined the elite group of nations by performing space docking on January 16th of this year, 2025. India held the G20 summit in 2023, marking a huge step in global diplomacy. Developments in infrastructure like smart cities and high-speed railways are coming up. The launch of Ayushman Bharat healthcare scheme is the largest free healthcare scheme in the world. Government of India implemented new National Education Policy (NEP) with a goal of achieving greater levels in the field of education and research. In 2023, new sites from India were added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. The list goes on. We cannot close our eyes to the fact that India is one of the very few economies which could resist the global recession which devastated different banks of even United States of America and weakened the economy of the so-called developed nations across the world. On February 24th and 25th of 2020, the US President Donald Trump visited India. A half-kilometer long brick wall of 4 feet height was hastily erected in India's Gujarat state ahead of his visit to the city of Ahmedabad to attend an event called Namaste Trump at a cricket stadium. Trump had to travel along a road next to the slum and was accompanied by Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, who hails from the same state, Gujarat, and was its Chief Minister for 12 years before becoming the Prime Minister in May 2014. The residents of the slum were issued eviction notice, and a senior government official said that the wall was built for security reasons and is also part of a beautification and cleanliness drive. This raised a lot of controversies and criticisms like an intentional hiding of the poor, an intentional hiding of the failure of Modi for the development of the state, etc. This incident seems to be symbolic to the realities of India. A beautiful wall is built to hide the realities behind. There is a strained relationship between different religious communities in India. The ongoing Manipur issue is one of the best examples of that kind, and from which the central government turns its face away. The caste consciousness and the Brahminical supremacy are on their way of coming back to Indian society. The lessons in the school textbooks are replaced with the Hindu mythological and Puranic stories. There are controversial new stories coming up in the historical interpretation of India's past and people like Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and so on. There is a widespread fear in Indian minds on the replacement of the Indian constitution with a Hindu constitution based on the ancient Hindu religious texts like the Dharma Shastras and Kaunilya's Arthashastra. When the government claims the strength of Indian economy, we see the fall of Indian rupee to new depths. Many political observers have expressed their anxiety on contracting the military force with Agnipath and Agnivir, in which young people serve for a fixed period of 4 years in the Indian armed forces. They see this as a step to weaken the Indian military forces. The political parties in opposition raised their suspicion several times on the credibility of the electronic ballot machines. The untold, unrevealed, and suppressed realities are still many. And it is in this context that India celebrates its 76th Republic Day. At this juncture, I would like to bring some biblical thoughts to your notice. The modern concept of republic is not widely seen in the Bible. The Bible has references to theocracy and democracy in it. The only biblical verse that talks about the crude form of the concept of republic is Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 13. The verse says, "Choose for each of your tribes individuals who are wise, discerning and reputable to be your leaders." As we know, theocracy is defined as the government of a state by immediate divine guidance or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided. On the other hand, democracy is defined as a government in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation, usually involving periodically held free elections. But Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 13 talks about choosing from each of tribes by the Israelites and acceptance of the same by God. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verses 9 to 18 explain the subdelegation of authority by Moses on the advice of his father-in-law. The appointment takes place after the giving of the law. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 13 emphasizes the importance of three principles which are foundational to the concept of a republic, where power is held by the people and their elected representatives. The first principle we see in that verse is representation. Moses instructed the people to choose for each of their tribes. He neither appointed nor nominated anyone on behalf of each tribe, nor did he select one person from each tribe by himself, but he told them to select from among themselves. The representation was fair. No tribe was given more representation since they were more in number or because of any other reason. The proportional system is suggested as a means of redressing the possible anomaly arising under majority or plurality systems. This type of representation in modern political terms is called proportional representation. Moses wanted representatives from all tribes as his helpers to hear their problems, to solve them quickly, and also to formulate policies based on the context of each tribe. Moses wanted to formulate a body of representatives for the welfare and the well-being of the people, to serve them better and to convey God's time-to-time instructions easily to all people. So, Moses told them to select their own representatives by themselves, one from each tribe, ignoring whether they are majority or minority among the Israelites. The second principle, Republican principle we see in this verse is wisdom. While instructing Israelites to select their representatives, Moses told them to ensure some qualities in their representatives. The qualities are the wise, discerning, and reputable people. He suggested these qualities with the motive of having competent and proficient leaders for the good of the people. A reputed person will have the integrity of character and is reputable because of the trust of people that the person has discernment on matters and issues. Not an educated or knowledgeable person, but a wise person is to be selected so that his wisdom will lead them into welfare and progress. Wisdom is about using what we know to make the right decisions for the right reasons. It is about seeing beyond the immediate and understanding the long-term implications in our actions, of our actions. Wisdom is a profound aspect of leadership that goes beyond mere expertise or technical know-how. It requires a blend of introspection, ethical practice, and a commitment to one's core values and purpose. In this sense, we need to assess our representatives and be responsible in selecting our future representatives, making sure that they are wise enough to lead our nation. The third principle, which is foundational to the concept of a republic, is accountability. Leaders have to be responsible to the community whom they represent. In Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 13, Moses instructs the Israelites to choose individuals as their representatives to be their leaders. The consciousness of being the leader of a group of people is the quality needed in them. They are chosen not for their benefit or enjoyment, but to work for the people, to help them, to guide them, to motivate them, to be with them in their crisis, and to be their voice in front of the authorities. Unfortunately, we have only a few leaders in society and also religion who are accountable to the people whom they represent. Once they get into power, they forget their accountability. Those who chose them and work with the selfish motives and interests. When we look back to the history of Israelites, it is evident that the organization of the people in the above mentioned pattern with those three republican principles constituted a cornerstone for the formation of Israel as a nation. Today, our elected representatives often do not voice out for the minority, marginalized, voiceless, and the outcasts. Once they are elected, for a period of 5 years, they just disappear, seeking pastures for their benefit, forgetting the people for whom they were elected. If our representatives and leaders do not stand for us, it is we who are responsible for such a fate, because it is we who have chosen them. As the Deuteronomy text teaches us, we, the citizens, need to be very careful in selecting our representatives, be it political or religious. May the God of Israel help us to choose the individuals who are wise, discerning, and reputable to be our leaders in our society and religion. Amen.